In 3, 2, 1, we are rolling. Oh my goodness. It's been a while, everyone. Welcome to the Joey B podcast. If you're watching this, I'm filming it on Instagram Live in the new OPT office, the new podcast studio, the merchandise studio, and I'm testing out the lighting, and it looks super, I think it looks super vibey in here. I love it. Man, I have so much to share that it's kind of hard to know where I want to jump in. And I wrote a list down, and I've been wanting to do the podcast for a while, especially ever since that last one around my birth family. But whenever I want to talk about something super deep, there's either two ways I go about it. I go right into it just immediately, or I just spend a lot of time reflecting and digging and re-articulating and just letting myself roll around in my ideas, my thoughts, and that's kind of what's been happening. And so the list of the things that I want to talk about tonight, I'm just going to share with you what I wrote down on my notes, and then I'm going to try to weave these the best as possible. Grandpa kicks, decluttering, Rico, disappointment, expectations, death, sweetgrass, Colombia, relationships / marriage / kids, sex workers, and then stop pulling punches, and the assassination attempt. Oh, man. I guess I just want to start with Colombia. Most of whenever I do a fundraiser, a lot of times I will go into like super deep details about the fundraiser, what I'm doing, and I'll try to like really get, just like really try to engage people in why I'm doing the fundraiser and what the funds are going towards. And this time, I only made one video around what I'm doing, really simple, short, and here's the fundraiser, I'm doing this, and then that was it. And the reason I did that is because I feel like I've done a lot of different videos explaining the work that I do in terms of ayahuasca shamanism, why I do it, what it's done for me, how it's changed my life. I've done so many videos and posts and podcasts around it. I just didn't really feel like doing it again. And so I was like, well, I'll do a podcast kind of explaining everything, because if you're now just meeting me, or if you've been in my life for a while, and why do you keep going back, or like, why do you keep doing this? I just felt like this would be a good opportunity for me to do that and explain just like the path that I'm on, and why I do continuously want to grow and study because it's that meaningful to me, it's that important to me. And this ties into everything that's happening to me right now in my life. And when over the past, I would say like 6 weeks, this thought kind of hit me, is that I've been sitting with ayahuasca for almost 10 years, which is crazy to think about. But I don't really think about it like that, because it's just a part of my life. It's a big part of my life. And I didn't until I'm getting ready to leave. And the reason that it hit me so hard is that my life is changing so much in terms of my friendships, my relationships, how I view myself, how I conduct myself, what I want to do moving forward, business. It's changed so much. And there's like a lot of resentment and anger and sadness that have been built up since the last podcast that has all been just kind of coming to the surface. And a lot of that has to do where people never give me the credit that I deserve. People always try to belittle me. People always try to write me off. People never want to acknowledge me for like where I'm actually at in my life and the value that I bring, not only to my community, the people in my life, the world, my gifts, my skills, my talents, but a lot of the people that I like look up to, or I thought were my friends, or I thought were my teachers, it's this pattern of people just consistently push me down and always question me, always I guess, yeah, hold me back. And they don't ever allow me the space to let me spread my wings fully. Now, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people that, again, that I looked up to, or I thought were friends, or I thought were teachers, they don't let me expand. As long as I play by their rules, as long as I don't push the boundaries, as long as I am obedient and dogmatic, it's all good. But the second I start to push those boundaries, oh, I'm a troublemaker. I'm a problem child. I'm reckless. I'm wild. I'm disrespectful. I'm selfish. I'm arrogant. And my whole entire life, this has happened to me. And this has to do with my adoption. This has to do with me untangling, unraveling, and resolving, and then rebraiding my life. And I don't know many people that stick to anything for 10 years. There are so many things in my life that I've stuck to for more than a decade. Personal growth, meditation, breath work, personal training I've been doing for 20 years, the studying of the human body, 20 years. Ayahuasca shamanism, like I said, I'm coming up on a decade of studying it. Plant medicine, psychology, working on communication skills, working on listening. Like, these are all areas that I have spent more than 10 years doing in many of these practices. And the people that are the closest to me are the ones that, what I'm realizing now, are the ones that, I don't want to say all of them, because I'm starting to realize the people that I need to focus on, the people that I need to listen to, the people that I need to give my time, energy, love, and effort into, those are the people that I should be focused on. And I've been focused on all the wrong ones. I've been focused on the negative ones. I've been focused on the naysayers. I've been focused on the people that constantly belittle me. And it makes sense, and I'm going to kind of share the whole adoption family part 2 here on this podcast. But part of my studying the ayahuasca shamanism is because it's part of my lineage, it's part of my bloodline. I have Peruvian in my blood. And I want to honor that. I want to study what my ancestors did. I want to be able to help Native Americans break addiction, generational trauma, psychological trauma, emotional trauma, community dysfunction. And ayahuasca is how I got sober. And when I say sober, I mean sober from alcohol and drugs. I believe every single person on this planet has addictions. Whether they're substance, whether they're distractions, whether they're physical, whether they're internal, whether they're perspectives, whether they're emotions, every single person has addictions. And if you don't believe that, you could just fucking call me. You send me a message and I'll fucking line your addictions up as clear as day for you. And but I'm saying addictions in terms of chemicals that ultimately destroy people's lives. And when natives, indigenous people, people of color walk into the room, I want them to see me. I want them to be like, wow, I can do this too. Or wow, there's someone that looks like me doing these ceremonies. And the reason that I'm choosing to go to Colombia this time around is because I was in an ayahuasca ceremony with this woman. Her name is Sochi. She's a Colombian, born and raised in the jungles of Colombia. And the reason that she got into ayahuasca is at the age of 12, she had cancer. And she went the Western route. She went to the hospital. She went to the doctors. And she thought she was going to die. And then her family, in a desperation move, was like, we need to take you to go see the medicine men, the shamans. And then through ayahuasca, her cancer was healed. And that's when she dedicated her life to this path at 12. And when I sat in this ceremony with her, I've never sat in a ceremony with an indigenous, born and raised medicine person. And it was a completely different experience for me. And my intuition, my gut, my heart, all the messages I got that night was, you need to continue to, there's the message from ayahuasca, clear as day, kept saying to me, she kept saying, you need to learn more from her. You need to learn more from her. There's more that she's going to teach you. You need to work with her. You need to work with her. And I was like, I don't even know this lady. I just met her like an hour ago. And, but part of this is listening to my intuition and to my gut. So over the next 2 weeks, I got a chance to talk to her a little bit more. And then I sat with it for, 2 weeks of meditation, praying on it. And then I finally got in contact with her and asked her if she would do a dieta. And we were talking about all kinds of different things. And she said, Joey, like if I were to say the medicine of my land, the medicine of my land is family medicine. And I was like, sold. I'm in. And this was all before this whole adoption stuff had unearthed. This was all before that. But I knew I was like, oh, that's all I needed to know. Because I do want a family. And I'm going to kind of talk about relationships and marriage and kids in this because my perspective on that is, I think, very, not only unique, but it's probably very unacceptable for a lot of people, which I totally understand. And if it ever happens, I don't know. But I'm going to share with you my thoughts and ideas around it. And so I'm going because I want to continuously learn, because I want to continuously grow. Because of not only what it's done for me in my life, but I want to always be able to, when I'm passionate about something, when I love something, I want to be able to not only guide people in the healthiest way, but I want to be able to give people my firsthand experiences and guide them to say, hey, this is for you, or this is not for you, or this is a possibility, or this other way is a possibility. So then I'm giving them the best advice based on not only my own experiences, but listening to them where they're at. Here, I think maybe you should try ketamine therapy first, or maybe for me personally, it's like you guys, you're gonna go through my Genesis program first and foremost, more than anything, because just through the things that I'm gonna teach you, you're gonna make significant amount of progress in your life as long as you implement the things that I'm teaching you. Not how I do it, but here's the tools. I'm gonna teach you how to use the tools, and then you do it. And so it might not be for people, or hey, go to this center, or go to this center, or work with this person, or read this book, take on this practice, try these things. And part of this whole process of me going to Colombia is that I always want to know that I'm putting a genuine effort in, a truthful effort in, an honest effort in to the things that I love, the things that I believe in. That I don't believe in them because it's convenient. I believe in them because they work and they're transformative and they're powerful. And a lot of the things that I do, people don't want to do because they're all hard. Whether it's fasting or celibacy or sauna or ice or working out or breathwork or meditation or reading or writing. Like, it's all hard. Everything that I'm into is hard. It takes sacrifice. It takes commitment. It takes dedication. It takes a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of failure. But that's why people don't change. Because everyone, especially in today's society, everyone thinks transformation is convenient. Everyone thinks transformation is like an endpoint. And I think where I'm at in my life, it's not, I don't think that I'm broken. I don't think that I need healing. I don't think I need fixed. What I'm doing is continuously learning the depths of myself. I'm continuously trying to grow. But I don't look at myself anymore as like, I'm dysfunctional. You're never going to hear me say, I need to be healed. I need to be fixed. You'll never hear me say that from here on out. Because I think that it's a fallacy. It's a lie. I don't believe people are broken. I don't believe people need healing. That word like makes me sick, kind of like the word holistic now. It's like gross. Whereas it's about learning why you are the way you are. And if you're wanting to improve the quality of your life, what sacrifices do you want to make to move forward? And for me, it's the studying, the going to learn so I can continuously grow. Yeah. So that's why I'm going to Colombia. And I'm super pumped about it. I'm a little, I don't want to say nervous, because the conversations I've had with this woman have been amazing. Especially because one of my intentions this year, if you guys listen to my beginning of the year podcast, is around intuition. And one of the conversations she said is like, when you get here, we're just going to pray and we're going to let the medicine decide how this whole thing is going to go for you. And it just like lit me on fire. Because even in that, it's like teaching me to follow my own intuition, which is, I guess, the segue into this next piece of the podcast with sweetgrass. Now, again, if you guys just go back and listen to all the podcasts, some of this stuff is going to connect and make sense. And if you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. And you want to be confused, or ask questions later, that's fine too. But I'll probably just send you a podcast because I've already talked about it. So I'm just going to jump in here in terms of the sweetgrass. And earlier this year, I was working with one of my clients in a session, and I grabbed a piece of sweetgrass. And I've been working with sweetgrass now since 2018, so 6 years. Never has this happened to me. Now, at the end of last year, probably like the last 2 weeks, I had a breakfast with one of my clients, and I told him, I said, I feel like my whole entire life is unraveling. And I remember when I dieted sweetgrass the first time, when I boiled the sweetgrass in the pot, the whole sweetgrass came unbraided on its own. Like, it literally unraveled, and I just sat there staring at the boiling water like, oh my God, sweetgrass is going to unravel my life. And then at the end of last year, I'm like, I feel like my life has completely come unraveled. My friends, my teachers, like, no one is in my life anymore. And it's very scary. And so we had a whole conversation around that. So fast forward to this year, I'm working with a client, and I grab a piece of sweetgrass. And if you look at sweetgrass, there's two kind of knots. There's one at the bottom to hold the base together, and there's one at the top to hold the top together. And I grabbed it, and when I grabbed it, I lit it, and I looked at the bottom, and the bottom knot came off. And I'm like, oh my God. And I started to panic, like, oh, what does this mean about me? And blah, 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 blah. And I picked up the piece that fell off, and it looked like a praying mantis, and it looked like a snake. And I'm like, oh my God, I did it. My entire roots have come unraveled. And I was like, oh, I almost started panicking and freaking out, but I didn't. And I just sat with that for a long time. I took a picture of it. I posted it. And so then, as I've been getting ready to leave to Colombia, I've been using that piece of sweetgrass. And it's finally all burnt. And it's like I'm done with I don't want to say I'm done with the unraveling process, but I'm very clear on what is unraveling, why it's unraveled. And then when I'm going there, it's about like the beginning process of the rebraiding of my life. And this is really, when you get into the depths of medicine work, when you get into the depths of spiritual work, none of it is superficial. It's not about crystals and stones and symbols and fucking the words that you use or how you fucking dress or like what you think you are. It's not about none of that. It's literally about the understanding of your path in time and space, your understanding of karma, your understanding of destiny, your understanding of fate, your understanding of how you're contributing to it, where that stems from, and then how you can begin to clean that, clear that, and move forward and extrapolate the wisdom. That's the Palo Santo. And so when that happened to me, when I was working with that person, I've been thinking about it nonstop. And this is going to go into the next piece of this, is like relationships and friendships and what I'm like currently going through. And when you're in my Genesis course, I have a section of it where I take everyone through this decluttering process. And it's the hardest part. It's probably top 3 hardest parts of the entire program. And when people take it seriously with an honest and truthful effort, not only does their life fall apart, but they always end up on the other end better, more clear, more stable, more focused. But it's a very painful process that I continuously go through over and over and over again. And this office that I'm freaking in right now, this freaking... Dude, I feel so fucking dope in here right now doing this. I can't wait to have more guests. I can't wait to like really begin to hone this thing in and how it looks. But this took me, I've been in here for almost 2 years now, and we finally got it to where it needs to be. And it's still transforming, but now it's at a place where it's like 85, 88% complete, where it's just fucking dope in here. But I was going through all my notes when I was teaching this first round of Genesis this year in terms of the group, and I was like talking about the office a lot. And so to now be here and be like, oh my God, I fucking did it. I decluttered, I reorganized. And to be here now doing this podcast, sitting here with the lights and the wall and the fucking couch, baby! I got that cognac couch right now, dude. Like, it's here. And it takes a lot of time and effort and energy and all that. But the reason I bring this up is because I don't have much clutter in my external life. The clutter, once you get to the depths of it, the clutter is always inside. It's in your body, it's in your mind, it's in your thoughts, it's in your emotions, it's in your perspectives, it's in your why are you the way that you are, the teachings, your understandings. That's all the clutter. And before I was leaving, this goes back to my first time living in isolation, where I cleaned out my phone and my laptop I had up there, and I just decluttered my phone and my laptop. And I knew before I'm leaving to Colombia this time, I needed to declutter my old computer, the one that I haven't opened up in forever, and the hard drives. And so it took me about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks to clear out one of the hard drives. And this all goes back to the beginning of what I was saying, but also like the relationships piece. And one of the things, as I'm going back and rereading old poems, old writings, old text messages that I saved, is how much of my life I've let people completely mistreat me, take me for granted, throw me under the bus. How much that I constantly give, and it's not met with the same energy, effort, reciprocity. And I started to realize that in 2022 when I went to the jungle the first time, about like who's really on my side, who really is supporting me, who's not. People that say one thing and do another. And but when you're addicted to these patterns, it's very hard to break. And as I go back and I'm reading stuff from like 2010, 2011, 2012, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm doing it. Like, that's all that I've done is I've let people mistreat me. And then I'm the one that I bite the bullet. I'm the one that looks like an asshole. I'm the one that looks like the mean person, the cold-hearted person. And that's not true. And what I'm realizing right now is that part of me staying in those types of friendships, in those relationships, is my abandonment issues. Now, when I discovered my birth family, so just so you guys know, I guess they listened to the podcast. No one was happy with it. They all got fucking pissed. I got yelled at. I got screamed at. Literally yelled at and screamed at by these people that I don't even really know. And my birth mom denied that she had me. Where this all goes into delusion. And when this is all happening and I'm thinking about this and processing everything, it's like, oh man. One of the biggest things that I always feel like in my life is that I'm always in trouble or I always did something wrong. And so that has, like, that's why I beat myself up. I'm so hard on myself. I get paranoid. I try to, like, make sure that I make the right choices and I do these right things. And like, the root of that is, it's like, I'm worthless. Like, at my core level, like on a soul level, I'm worthless. I'm not valued. That if you were to interpret this from a child's standpoint, it's me just being born is I'm wrong. Me just being alive, I'm wrong. I'm worthless. Nothing I do is right and I can't be accepted. And how delusional it is to be like the denial that you had a child. But again, if you listen to the last podcast, I'm not mad at my mom. I'm not mad at anyone in the family. Even they all fucking yelled at me and freaked out. And what do you want? You're trying to destroy the family. All this fucking nonsense. It's none of that. But what I realize in my relationships, no matter what I do, it always ends up being that, oh, Joey's the bad one, Joey's the asshole, Joey's the fucked up one, Joey this, Joey that, where it leads to people speaking badly behind my back, no one fucking talking to me, everyone making assumptions, and then I bend over backwards to try to fix, mend, heal, repair, because I'm wrong. And when I started going back and reading all this stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm stuck in that same pattern. I need to fix this. Please see me. Please love me. Please don't abandon me. And when I can step back and be like, oh no, it's not, it's none of that. The challenge for me to break the addiction is to break that pattern. And one of the things over the past 2 years I've been thinking about is, like, you know what? I'm going to treat everyone the way that they treat me. Period. If you show up, I show up. If you don't show up, I won't show up. I'm no longer going to go above and beyond for people that don't do the same for me, that don't support me, that don't back me. And all of this has been bubbling up in different poems that I've started to write, different realizations in my meditations, and the loss of friendships, the loss of teachers. And what's so scary about it is when I say, like, I've unraveled everything, part of that process when I told my friend at breakfast was like, I feel like I'm walking on my own path now. Like, there's no more training wheels. There's no more guardrails. There's no more handrails. It's literally me, and I'm walking into the abyss. And that's very scary for me because of my abandonment issues, because of my adoption, especially the fucking backlash that I got from that last podcast was so shocking to me. But then it all makes sense because I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is literally the story of my life. Just by being alive, just by being self-expression, just by the way that I am, people make assumptions. They get mad at me. They blame me. They judge me. They try to threaten me. They try to scare me. They throw me to the side. And it's just like, oh, yeah. And when I let that go, I'm like, oh, fuck everybody. Like, really, it's like, fuck everybody. And the reason that I say that is because the reason I wrote down pulling my punches is like, I'm not going to, from here on out, people are really going to see like, damn, dude, Joey was actually being so nice and thoughtful. And I always misinterpreted it as, oh, he's harsh, he's an asshole, he's this. It's like, you guys have never seen that side of me. Most people have never. But I'm not going to pull my punches anymore. So I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to say this, and however you take it, I don't give a fuck. That's on you. I'm not responsible anymore for your fucking emotions. I'm not responsible for how this makes you feel. And that's what I mean. I'm not going to pull no punches. Because if you thought I was an asshole before, if you thought I was mean before, just fucking wait now. Because now you're actually going to see, oh, no, actually Joey was really being thoughtful. And he was trying his best to be articulate. He was really trying to like meet people in the middle. And now I'm like, nah, I don't give a fuck. Because what does it matter? If I can handle a complete no and rejection from the woman who gave birth to me, who are you to me? If you don't support me or back me or give me love, who are you to me? You're no one. And that sounds really harsh. And it sounds really fucked up. And it sounds really cold. And where I'm at right now is like, it's not. Because I don't get treated with that same level of love and care and grace and kindness and patience and forgiveness and I don't get treated like that. Very few people in my life treat me with that. And those people know who they are. And I need to focus more on those people. Those are the people that I am going to focus on. And what was so surprising about this whole thing, not only with OPT, but my fundraising trip to Colombia, all the stuff that I'm up to, how little support I got. It was interesting because Serene was in here and she was like talking about the support that her family has for her. And she was like, I was like, you know, and Serene gets a first-hand look when all this is happening, and I talk to her a lot about these kinds of things. But she's like, Joe, you know, like, my family doesn't really support me financially like that, but where they do support me is like love, and like they tell me they're proud of me, and they tell me they love me, and they tell me like and I said, you know what's crazy, Serene, is like, it'd be nice if I even got that. It's like, I don't even get that. I get literally fucking nothing. And that's what makes me sad. That's where the delusion, you know, over the past few months, I've cried a lot around this, the disillusion of delusion. I'm seeing where I have been blind. I'm seeing where I was like, whoa, I thought these people were like this. I thought this person was like this. I thought this person was like this. I thought these people were like this. And that's not true at all. Fuck, man, that makes me sad as fuck. But you know what everyone is okay with? Telling me where I fuck up. Tell me where I am wrong. Tell me where I can do better. And I have this thing written on the board here in the office where I have this poem that's bubbling. It's called Tell Me. And it's like, hey, man, don't fucking tell me shit unless you tell me you're proud of me. Don't say fucking nothing unless you're telling me how good I'm doing. Unless you're telling me you're going to support me. Unless you're telling me you're going to buy something. Unless you're telling me you're sending someone to my programs. Unless you're telling me to keep going. Unless you're telling me you love me. Unless you're telling me you forgive me. Unless you're telling me, man, Joe, you're fucking killing it. If you're not telling me none of that, don't fucking say shit. Bring those fucking conversations elsewhere. And that's what I mean, because I'm not going to hold no punches no more. And over the past 3 months, man, people have brought the craziest fucking conversations to me. Like people that I thought were my friends or in my corner or in my life, just sideways fucking conversations. And I should have fucking lit them up on the spot, but I didn't. And then I'm like, man, if you want to have an intense conversation with me and you have some fucking beef with me, then you better have put in the same amount of work and effort and studying and dedication that I have to get to where my perspective is and my emotional understanding, you better have matched my effort in this way for your opinion to even be listened to. Because it's like, I'll just use an example. If it'd be like me going to the tailor right here, a few doors down, to the tailor, and I walk into her studio and be like, hey, I need you to make this, but I'm going to tell you how to make it. She's like, what the fuck? You're not even a tailor. You don't even know how to fucking sew. What are you talking about? And then me trying to go tell her she's doing it wrong. Her shit's all fucked up. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. I think she should do this, and she needs to do that, and she needs to stop doing this, and she needs to think about it from this perspective. It's like, that's how it is. Now, if I've been a sewer for 20 fucking years, a seamstress or a tailor for 20 fucking years, and then I go in there and have a conversation, it's a completely different conversation. It's a completely different playing field. It's a completely different understanding. And I'm not saying that it's like, unless you're where I'm at, you can't talk to me. No. It's, if you're going to bring a sideways conversation to the table with me and you haven't put in the effort, the dedication, and the discipline to earn the opinion you have, then shut the fuck up. Because I'm not holding punches. And you're going to lose every single fucking time. Every single time you're going to lose. Because this is what my life is. I'm constantly trying to work on how I am or how I express myself. And as I go back through these old poems, the decluttering process and seeing things, it's that I've always done that. And then the other people don't reciprocate that same effort. The other people don't continue to try to see it from my point of view. It's your point of view is wrong, and end of story, and now this, that, or the other. And I'm like, nah, man, that's so not true. That's like the app. But what I do is I say, I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm this, I'm that, you're right, so I'll bend to you, and now I'll just fucking reorient my entire life for you. And that stops. And what's hard is that, yeah, there's a lot of people, like I said, all my teachers are not my teachers no more. And then a lot of my friends are not my friends no more. And it's just like, whoa. And when I look at it, I'm like, oh, this is the adoption thing. It's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. And it's like, people get mad at me or their feelings get hurt or whatever. It's like, I didn't even do anything wrong. And it was interesting because I found a letter I wrote. There was this, when I was started salsa dancing in like 2011, 2012. This is before psychedelics. This is before anything. And there was a salsa dancer there, and everyone kept saying, oh man, this guy is like the best salsa dancer Arizona's ever seen, blah, 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 blah. But he's an alcoholic. He struggles with drinking, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Probably after about, 2 months of going to his classes, I was like, man, why is everyone always talking shit about this guy or like saying that he's this? I was like, does anyone try to fucking help him? So I wrote him a letter. And I was just like, hey man, I've been coming to class and this, that, whatever. I just want to let you know everyone always says these things about you. And, I struggle with that same thing too. And, I'm really working on it. And if you ever want someone to talk to, if you ever want someone to just, want someone to listen, it's like, I'll do that for you. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. These things can really be poisonous in our lives. And again, this is at the time I was still an alcoholic. And so I was just trying to find that mutual connection. And, I went up to him. I gave him the letter. I never even seen that guy again in my life. But I've done that with many people that I care about. And you can be a stranger and I can care about you and be like, well, if you're suffering, when you're suffering, you're adding suffering into the world, whether you know it or not. And so the reason I bring that story up is because it's like, wow, man, like, I'm always trying to extend a hand to people. But that hand is never really extended to me. Or it's extended to me on conditions. And then like a lot of people, again, these certain conversations are like, oh, you expect too much out of people. It's like, motherfucker, yeah. So fucking what? I got expectations. Every single person in their life has an expectation. The difference is I'm okay with saying it. That's why I love sports as an analogy. It's like, look, if I'm on a team, I'm expecting to fucking win. I'm not expecting to fucking lose. I'm not expecting to win every fucking game. I'm not expecting to go undefeated, but I'm expecting to fucking win more than I lose. I expect everyone to practice. I expect everyone to listen. I expect everyone to show up. Yeah, because that's what I want. I want to fucking win. And what people don't really understand is life is a gigantic game. You're always competing. You're competing for jobs. You're competing for relationships. You're competing for ideas. You're competing if you own a business for customers. You're competing all the time, all day, every day. You might not view it like that, but that's what it is. If you're an artist or a dancer, like, yeah, you want people to like your art, your dance, your song, whatever. You have expectations. And if you practice and you do these things, then you expect to get better. You expect to improve. And when people say that to me, I'm like, man, you guys are fucking crazy. Do you want me to, I just expect you to be a shithead? If you're going to be a fucking shithead, then I don't want to be around you. If you're going to be a piece of shit and wallow around and fucking feel sorry for yourself and always fucking complain about the same dumb shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I expect you to not do that, and I'm sorry I expect you to fucking get better. I'm sorry that I see value in you and that you can move forward in your life, and your life doesn't always have to be like this. Fucking my bad. I'm just not supposed to have expectations. It's such a dumb argument. It's like, hey, motherfucker, you expect the sunrise tomorrow, don't you? You expect when you get in your car that motherfucker to start, don't you? You expect the fucking moon to hit these phases every 28 days, don't you? You expect the fucking tide to go out and come back in, don't you? Exactly. You expect things. If I put in the work, I expect to get paid. If I'm a great employee, I expect to get a raise. Life is full of expectations. And so then some of the people, friends and even teachers, are like, you expect too much out of me. And I'm like, you put yourself in a position that you're my teacher, you dumb fuck. Of course I expect you to do things and be this person. You fucking idiot. That's why you're a teacher. And if you're my friend, it's like, well, yeah, I want to be around people and my friends that are inspiring, that are up to cool shit, that are doing good things. It doesn't mean that they can't have bad days or breakdowns or meltdowns or hit a roadblock. But like, what I'm realizing now is that, I guess I'm just cut from a little bit different cloth. Is that, now, man, I want to do cool shit. I want to do exciting shit. I want to do things that are uplifting and positive and inspiring. And then as I'm going through this decluttering process, I'm seeing all of the cool projects that I've done, all the fundraisers before even the shamanism. Like, I've been to the jungle so many times before I even knew what fucking ayahuasca was. And it's like, oh, wow. I am the creator. I'm the one that creates these things. I'm the one that implements the ideas. And I have to put so much energy and effort to get certain people to, engage. It's like I'm carrying dead weight. And I think that's what's sad. Whereas, like, I'm not carrying dead weight no more. And how that gets looked at is like, oh, you're cutting people out of your life. It's like, no, you're cutting yourself out. If I want to play on Tom Brady's team, then I got to perform at a Tom Brady level. Or at least be willing to work at a Tom Brady level. Or at least listen at a Tom Brady level. Or at least, right? It's like I got to match that. Or guess what? I get cut. I don't get cut because Tom Brady's like, you're cut. You get cut because you're just not up to standards. And I think that gets really, with people in life and friendships, it's like their standards. And I want to be around people that not only can hold me accountable, but I can also hold them accountable. And again, it doesn't mean my tempo, my time, my style, the way that I do it, but you're evolving. And so I think that's what's sad, is that I've constantly, as I look back, not only do I look at all the people that I've quote unquote cut out, But my life has always gotten better. And every time that one of these people falls out of my life, I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's not going to work out. I'm going to be alone. It's never going to work. Oh, I'm going to be a failure. And then actually get better. And then I look backwards and I'm like, wow, I can't believe that person was even in my life. What was I thinking? Jesus fucking Christ. And that's what's scary, is because I want to put my energy and my effort towards the people that do support me, that do buy a shirt, that do and this sounds petty, right? It's like the fundraiser shirts, or like I just put out this dope ass fucking video. I did this dope ass fucking office. Like I'm trying my absolute hardest to turn my business around. And the people that I thought would be in my corner, they don't say shit. Not a reshare, not a like, not a congratulations, not you're doing a good job, not I'm proud of you, not I love you, not a hey, can I help out? Hey, like, is there any way that I can support you? Nothing. But there are people that do that, and I need to focus my energy and my effort towards those people, which that's what I'm committed to doing now. So I apologize, asking forgiveness for if you're one of those people and I haven't done that, that's what's going to change. And that's like that's the removal of delusion. Jordan Peterson had talked about this whole thing when he's talking about Horus. It's like when you seek enlightenment, you risk blindness. And what he means by that is like, be careful, because when you start to see the truth, it hurts, it blinds you. And it can be overwhelming, it can be confusing, it can be hurtful. And that's kind of this whole process as I'm getting ready to go to Colombia, is like reestablishing my roots, reestablishing family, like what it is. And not, it's like, no man, I'm not going to lower myself to you. You guys can come up to me. I'll give you the steps, the tools, the guidance, the patience, the grace, the willingness, but like, nah, my whole life has been nothing but going down. And that has to do with because I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be alone. And this all, just so much of this clicked when the whole birth family thing happened. Where I'm like, oh my God, this thing stems so fucking deep for me. So fucking deep. And now it's my responsibility to cut those ties, cut those cords, and reestablish my roots the way that I want. And that's just like, whoa. And this is a simple example, right? So I used to work with this guy, his name is Rico. If you've been a part of OPT over the past, 10 to 15 years, you know who this guy is. This guy was like a brother to me, a fucking brother to me. He was the first person I went to Peru with. Like, we have shared life-changing experiences together, me and this guy. Again, long story short, the downfall, I think part of it is like, another frustration for me is where it's like, I'm always willing to clean up my side of the fence where I fucked up, where I made a mistake. I'm always willing to do that. But what's crazy is other people are not, and then I just fucking take on the responsibility of everything, where it's like, no, I'm not going to do that no more. So now, our friendship fell apart for many different reasons, but I also, when I look back at like, there was times where I should have probably fired him or let him go, but because I didn't want to let him go, or I didn't want to fire him because he was such a crucial part of OPT and this, now, whatever, I let him stick around. And I'm not going to put his personal shit on blast and what he did to me, but it was fucked up. But I just, okay, well, whatever, I'll just forgive. I'm working on myself as a person. I'll just forgive. And then I continuously let people fucking run me over and run me over and run me over and run me over. But really the breaking point was a girl that he fucking fell in love with and whatever. Anyways, I caught him at a wedding. I had heard he kept just talking badly about me. And I'm like, dude, what did I've never done anything personally to you. I've never done anything to you, ever. Why are you talking shit about me? Like, what did I do to you? I'm so confused right now. And again, this guy was like a fucking brother to me. And then when he quit OPT, it's like, it was like he fell off the fucking face of the earth. And I thought we were going to be friends for the rest of my life. I assumed, I expected that we were going to be friends. Like, what the fuck? Because we didn't end on bad terms in terms of why he left. It's just that he wanted to pursue this path with this girl. whatever. Okay, cool. But I thought we were still cool. I thought we were friends. Anyways, I caught him at a wedding, which the kids at OPT got married because me, shout out Nick Story, set these two up on their very first date, and they ended up getting married. So we were all at the wedding, and everyone's there, and I see Rico, and I walk up to him because I just been hearing nothing but everyone telling me he's talking shit about me. So I walk up to him. I said, "Hey man, are we good?" "Oh yeah, bro, we're good. So good to see you." I said, "Hold on a second. Are we good?" "Yeah, no, we're totally good. What are you talking about?" I said, "Hey man, listen to what I'm saying. Everyone keeps telling me you have problems with me, that you are talking shit about me. And what I'm asking you is, if that's the case, we can talk about it. Because I thought we were okay, but everyone's telling me we're not. Are we okay?" "Yeah, we're good." I said, "All right." So I gave him a hug. We start talking. It was very awkward because I knew that he was lying. It's like you can feel it. And so then I never talked to him again after that. Never spoke to him again after that. So I'm going through, I'm cleaning up all these pictures and files or whatever. And I find all these pictures of me and him and videos of me and him. And I'm just like, man, dude, like, this guy is going to be a part of my soul forever. It's like, I don't have any animosity towards him. I don't have any beef towards him. And for whatever reason, he has this animosity or beef with me, and he can't even fucking explain it. And that's where it's like, dude, it's like, that's the bitch in people. That's the cowardness in people. But it's like, he's not in my life, so I don't have to dig into it. But anyways, so I sent him a text. I'm like, "Hey man, is this still Rico? You know, whatever." He's like, "Yeah, what's up, boss?" And blah, blah. And okay, cool. You know, it was like a fucking 5-minute exchange. So I'm going through all the pictures and pictures and pictures. And I found a picture of when me and him were in California, and it's a picture of his grandpa on the couch playing guitar. It's a fucking awesome picture. I love taking pictures of people and they're, you know, like in like just cool moments. And I'm like, man, I want this person to have this moment. It's just something cool. And I just like doing that. I like capturing moments of beauty and significance and meaning and vulnerability and intimacy. And it's this picture of his grandpa on the couch playing guitar. I was like, man, I should send this to him. So I sent the picture to my phone. I sent it to him. I said, "Hey man, I don't know if your grandpa's still alive or what, but I feel like you'd want this picture." So I sent it to him. Yes, I expected a reply. I expected a thank you. I expected maybe to heart the picture or like a picture. But nothing. Nothing. "Oh, Joey, well, how do you know that he got the..." It's like, no, I'm not going to do that no more. The message said it was delivered because he has an iPhone. It was delivered. He texted me back and forth, 2 days ago. And it's like, damn, you can't even fucking just say thanks. Bro, you're my fucking enemy and I hate you, and you sent me a picture of my grandpa and sometime and we shared, I'd be like, dude, at least hit the like button or just say thanks, man, appreciate it. It's like, that's what I'm saying, is that my energy and effort has gone towards people like that my entire life. And then when I pull back, I'm the one that's cutting people out, or I'm the one this. And what I mean by not pulling punches, and this goes back into like this lady that I dated for like 3 years, from 2017 to 2020. And like when we broke up and all this, and our friends are all friends and all this stuff, I bit my tongue so hard, and I just was like, look, if you guys only knew the things that this woman fucking did to me, you guys would not say any of that. But I don't say anything. Why? Because I just fucking eat it. Because I'm the bigger person, and I'm this, and I'm that. But then when things kind of started to get a little chaotic, and there's a certain people that I had to let in on what happened behind closed doors and what she did and who she actually is, they were like, two of them actually called me separately to apologize, because they were like, damn, we had no idea, and whoa, like, we didn't know. I was like, well, of course you don't, because she only tells one side of the story. Most people only tell one side of the story. I don't have a problem if I fuck up and I make a mistake. Here's where I fucked up. But other people, for whatever reason, have a very hard time doing that, and they can't just own their shit. They can't fucking take responsibility. They can't just be like, where am I seeing these things wrong? Or where did I fuck up? Where's Joey making a good point? Could Joey be right? Could this have happened? Am I taking it the wrong way? Am I being too sensitive? Am I being overreactive? So then it's like, if I don't hold my punches, that conversation back in 2017, 18, well, where I take responsibility is the first time this fucking lady did something shady, I should have been out. I should have just fucking been out. But what do I... Oh, let me forgive and second chances and all this fucking, and then it ends up fucking always, instead of listening to my intuition and listening to my gut, I stay in situations because I don't want to be alone, because I don't want to be abandoned, and then I end up again. It's like all the certain things that have come to. It goes into the first group that I sat with in fucking ceremony. The reason that I left is because it was the same thing. The way that they were treating me, the way that they talked about me, the way that, and I fucking, it happened again. And what I'm seeing is my contribution to those things in terms of allowing myself to be treated like that, allowing myself to be talked down to like that, or allowing people to misinterpret things or make assumptions. But then every time I bring the conversation to the table and I hit them with all these other different perspectives, they're like, oh shit, I didn't think about this, that, or whatever. It's like, exactly. So until you think about it, just shut the fuck up. And now it's going to be a little bit more intense because I'm not holding no punches. And I think where people get it misinterpreted is because they don't actually want to listen. And this goes into like where the whole my bird family, where they fucking had a meltdown of the way that I expressed myself, the way that I talked, the things that I said. They thought I was disrespecting the San Carlos Nation, which I didn't at all. And all these different things. Where it's like, wow, man, you guys are going to take a snapshot of me, of someone you know nothing about, and you're going to that's who I am for always. It's like, damn, dude, I have a whole entire personality. I have a whole entire life. I have a whole entire way of who I am and how I always am and how I express myself. You could ask if I'm being sarcastic. You could ask if I'm joking. You could ask if I'm being hyperbolic. But it's like, well, no, you guys don't know that. Like, I'm always, when I'm passionate about something or when I'm excited about something, like, I'm very self-expressive. I'm very loud. That's who I am. And people always try to change me. And when I go back and, some of these old poems I'm going to re-release, it's like, man, people always try to fucking change me. And I let them change me. And that's where these things stop. It's like, nah. Because there are people that genuinely love me, like I said, and thank you to those people. Those are the people that I'm going to focus on. Those are the people that I'm going to give my energy, effort into. And if it hits you some fucking way, oh well, that's on you. You better fucking fix your shit. Because until you're putting in the work that, like I am, nah, man. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I threw an interception, but I also threw 27 fucking touchdowns. So who are you to tell me I threw the wrong fucking pass? I already know I threw the wrong fucking pass. Are you throwing fucking passes? Are you fucking studying game film? Are you showing up the earliest and staying the latest? Nah, then shut the fuck up. Period. That's it. And that goes for anyone like coming in. And it's just like these realizations are hard. They're really, really, really hard. And I guess that's like the letting go piece. And realizing I'm always going to be okay. Because I am that manifesting generator. The wood rat. The Capricorn. The goat. It's like my path. And like the reestablishing that. I guess the realization of like how much delusion I've had in my life is really sad and hurtful and painful. And then be like, man, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. It's like, again, this is a karmic thing for me that a lot of people are not gonna understand. They're not gonna understand. I mean, I do my best to try to explain it. And if you're part of this karmic untying and unraveling, and it's like, I'm not removing anyone. People remove themselves. Period. And it's just like intense. So that's a lot of what's been happening. And I think that with that is like I get disappointed a lot with people. It's like, damn, dude, people just disappoint me, and that goes with expectations, but that goes into my tangible expectations. Am I just not supposed to expect things from people? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's just when people say that, again, if you just take your fucking thinking one more step, you realize we all have expectations and judgments, and I just voice them. And I think that I realize the sadness is also like, damn, dude, I got a lot of disappointing people in my life. And I thought they were people that, you know, were one way, and they're not. And it's like, that's my own delusion. And that's what I mean. It's like a really deep karmic thing. It's crazy. And some of the stuff too is like, I am the way that I am, but I don't view myself as this powerful person, this person who makes impact. I don't, people, and I joke around and sometimes I play it up because I like to talk shit and I just like to let my ego fucking shine every now and then, but I don't walk around like that. Like, that's why I'm so hard on myself, or that's why I'm trying to continuously learn and grow, because I don't view myself as I've arrived, right? That's why Tom Brady is Tom Brady. But like today, for example, this kid, and I put it up on my Instagram story, this kid, his name's Gabe, and I've been training Gabe on and off since he was like 6 years old, 7 years old. And I trained him on and off and through high school, and then, you know, I hadn't trained him for the past 3 years or whatever because we moved locations. But anyways, he called me. He's been calling me. I just haven't been in a chance to answer the phone. But today he called me. And we talked for like 10 minutes. And I was like, dang, dude, like, out of all the people in the world, this kid's like calling me to talk to me and to tell me about his life. And I told him how much I'm proud of him and I love him and I'm like so happy for him. And I'm like, I don't realize that that's how people look at me. And what's really fascinating is like this kid, like this, I would have never thought he'd be calling me from fucking college and be like, dude, you know, I just wanted to call you. What's up, Grandpa? And I'm like, what's up, Grandpa? And I just, because I don't see that, and so it's humbling. That's where I'm always willing to be like humble, where I'm like, okay, like, yeah, let me focus on that. Where it's like, damn, dude, this kid will fucking call me and tell me about his life, but I got best friends that won't even fucking call me and tell me my shirts are dope. I got fucking quote unquote best friends that won't even share my fucking dope ass video that I put together. I got friends that won't even fucking tell me they love me or they're proud of me or nothing. But I got this fucking kid I haven't seen or talked to in like 3 years. He wants to talk to me. And that's where I'm like, oh yeah, maybe my vision is off. And I should focus more on people like that. But that's scary when you're addicted to the rejection, when you're addicted to tell me where I'm wrong. Yeah, you know what, you guys? I am an asshole. I am fucking wrong. I am a piece of shit. I do expect too much. Yeah, you know what? This is all my fault. I'm sorry, you guys. Please tell me how to live my life. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, that's what I'm addicted to. It's like, nah, no more. No more holding punches. And if that doesn't feel good or it's uncomfortable for anyone in the future or now, fucking figure it out. That's all I gotta say. I got some fucking books where you can read. I got some courses you can fucking go to. You could fucking take it to ceremony with me. And then you know what I'm gonna say? Show me the results. Show me the results. And that's like a whole other thing when I, you know, these things with people. It's like, well, show me the results. Because I'll show you mine. And then you're not going to have nothing to say to that. So again, have you earned your opinion? Have you earned your perspective? Have you earned that? No, you haven't. So then the conversation's dead. It's unraveled. These perspectives, friendships, relationships, business, even business ones, they've unraveled. And I don't want to cling to them anymore. Because that keeps me in scarcity, keeps me in fear, it keeps me in paranoia. And I don't want to do that. even in like romantic relationships, which is like, I guess, do I want to segue to that right now? Yeah, I'll segue into that because I've kind of talked about everything else. It's like, even the way that I view relationships is changing. And when I come back from Colombia, I really want to try to put, I really want to try. I want to put forth effort in finding a partner to have kids with. But what's interesting is like, I don't know if I believe in marriage anymore. I don't know if I believe. It's like some of my friends who are single parents, it's like, man, I envy that. Like, if you just have your kid 50% of the time and 50% of the time you can do your thing, it's like, and I get into these conversations with my friends and people, and it's like parents are always like, well, you don't want to fuck up your kid and this and that. I'm like, yeah, but bro, I've met kids that come from great families and they're fucked up. I met kids that come from great families, parents are together and married and all that, and they're great people. I've met some of the greatest people that have fucked up family lives. No mom, no dad, divorces, multiple divorces, and they're awesome people. And I've met people that are in that situation, and they're awesome people. Or they're fucked up. Like, you can't base, if you're married, that's going to be what leads to having good kids in a good family. And shout out to my friend Jocelyn, because I'm always picking her brain, about her she was married, she got a divorce, how she raises, being a single parent, dating life, all that. And so she's always been really open with me about that, like questions I have and perspectives. And one of the things I think about is like, man, if I could just find literally, and this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but I don't care. If I could just find a baby mama that I respected, that was cool, that I would think would be an amazing mother, great communication skills, the co-parenting life would be wonderful. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not saying I'm opposed to marriage, but I don't really, when I look around, and again, this could be my delusion, I don't really see I don't see marriages that are inspiring to me that I'm like, Jesus Christ, I want to be married. The most inspiring relationship that I see in my life is my friend Dustin and his wife Diane. So shout out Dustin and Diane, even though I know you guys don't listen to this podcast. But Dustin's been one of my friends since high school. We go watch movies together now. He's got kids and all that. But I told him the last time I saw him, I was like, dude, Dust, I just want to tell you, like, I love you. I'm so proud of you. And I just, like, love your guys' marriage. I love watching it. I love how you guys are as a couple. It's just really, that inspires me to want to be married. But other than that, I don't really see too many inspiring marriages. But again, it's like things are changing for me. My understanding of marriage and relationship and what I want, and I understand that marriage is a lot of work and a lot of this and a lot of that. It's like, do I actually really want to do that? And I listen to a lot of good arguments on both sides of the fence. I'm not saying I want to be a polygamist. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, if I could find a woman to be my baby mama, is like, this is the situation. I don't know if I'm going to get married, or another thing I talked about is like phases. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to be with this woman, we're going to have a kid, maybe be together for 5 years, but that phase ends, and then it's on to the next thing. Like, the concept of marriage, what we think about marriage, like, why is marriage the way that it is, and do I really want to put that much effort and energy into making something like stay together and last? And it's like, again, I hear both sides of the argument, and I'm like, well, I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot. And my life is already a lot, and I don't know if I really want to do that. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, fuck, if you guys listen to my whole series of podcasts last year, I thought I found the girl I was going to get fucking married to, and Jesus fucking Christ, absolutely not. And it's like, but the reason I bring this up is because the way that I view myself, my understanding of myself, and it's like anything is possible. And when you start to question why we view relationships the way that we do, marriages that we do, the families that we do, like, where did I learn this? And why is this a societal norm? Like, why? Who made this up? There's never really a good explanation to it. But, again, it's like religion did it. I don't want to go down that fucking wormhole right now. It's like, well, but like, why? If you got married, had kids and got a divorce, got remarried, had more kids, got a divorce, and then you found the woman that you're going to be with the rest of your life, AKA you just had baby mamas, but you just labeled it marriage and that's okay? Oh, because you were married and had kids and got divorced and then did it again, that's okay. But if I said, hey, look, I just want to find a woman that's going to be an amazing mother that I trust, that I think is going to be that I want to be around my children, and that's what that relationship is. Oh, but that's crazy. But if I were to say, oh, we were married and then we did this and then we got a divorce, oh, that's okay. Yeah, that happens. Like, that's fucking crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. And I think one of the things, this whole unraveling process, is my conversations with people have just gotten so awesome. With people that are willing to actually fucking talk and engage, the conversations have been awesome. Because I'm okay with not knowing. I'm okay with being wrong, as long as the person is also willing to do that too. Now, and so like me going to Colombia is like, okay, what does a family look like to me? How does this family life going to work for me? How am I going to establish this family? Like, and I'm not going to make myself wrong if that's a thought that I have. Is if I find a woman that I could date that's willing to have my kids, but we don't necessarily get married, but we're committed to raising a beautiful kid or kids together, and that's what that is, I don't personally think there's anything wrong with that. And you can't argue me out of that. Now, if I could end up later finding the woman that I'll just be with for the rest of my life, but I think even that, it's like, damn, dude, being with one person for the rest of your fucking life, that's pretty intense. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's like, well, what if it's just phases? What's wrong with phases? And I think that when people, oh, you're just commitment issues, it's like, no, man. What are you talking about? I've been committed to OPT for 16 fucking years. I've been committed to meditation and personal growth and fucking the ayahuasca shamanistic path. Like, I'm committed to a lot of different things. It has nothing to do with being committed to one person. It has nothing to do with that. If you're the children of my mother, if you're the mother of my kids, I'm committed to making sure that whatever we got to do to raise the kid the best way possible, I'm committed to that. Oh, but because I don't want to be committed to you for the rest of my fucking life, I got commitment issues? I think that, again, that's where it's like, nah, I totally disagree. Because I see a lot of people in a lot of relationships that are super fucked up, super fucking dysfunctional. No, it's not inspiring. It's not enthusiastic. There's no joy. There's no creativity. There's no play. Their fucking sex life is trash. It's like, Jesus Christ. I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh, yeah, but are they working on it? This and that. It's like, look, I don't constantly want to have to always be working on something. Especially if it's like with another person 24/7. It's like, come on, man. Like, life is hard, and I get the argument of like, well, don't you want to go through life and experience the hardships with someone, not alone? It's like, well, yeah, but I also don't see, like, why can't that be different people throughout different parts of your life? And as long as you're open and upfront and honest and communicate that, it's like, yeah, what's wrong with that? I don't know. Anyways, so I'm going to Colombia because I'm going to pray a lot about family and what that looks like and reestablishing that and how I want to go about that. And so shout out to Joss for always just like being willing to hear my crazy ideas and push back, and it's just fascinating to hear, you know, different conversations from different people and different ideas. But for me, it doesn't look like family I do want. But it's like, again, you can have family without marriage. And, you know, again, when I look at my karmic path, when I look at the way that my upbringing is and my family and now my fucking birth family, it's like, yeah, man, like, I have a completely different perspective. And it's like, that's where I get to create my own narrative. I want to do something different. I'm not saying that I think that this marriage and that is wrong. I'm not saying that. I just don't think one size fits all. And I see a lot more problems than solutions. And we're just talking about the divorce rate. We're not even talking about the people that cheat. We're not even talking about the people that are miserable in the relationships. We're not even talking about those people. Because now we're talking probably like 80-20, maybe 90-10. 90% of people in marriages and relationships don't want to be in them, or they're content and it's just kind of going through the motions, just like going to a 9 to 5. Well, so, and I'm not talking about hedonism. I'm not talking about being polyamorous. That's not what I'm talking about. Because I see the pitfalls and downfalls of that big time. That's why I've never done it. So yeah, I talk about everything on this list, you guys, except for the conversation I have with the sex worker. But that just goes more into like, this conversation totally was random. I didn't even know this person was a sex worker. This person brought the conversation, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, can I ask you some questions? I've never talked to someone in this industry, field, whatever. And I think it's fascinating. One, because I don't judge you. I actually got into an argument with a quote-unquote friend who's I don't even really think a friend. And it was all this judgment around women who do sex work. I'm like, you say you're a feminist and you're for women and you're mad at this person who, does this? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, and we got in this whole fucking argument, and, she just pretty much was running in circles, because when I talk about it in the way that I talk about it, you don't have an answer. So the conversation was just like, because I was like, oh, you don't get it. Anyways, and like, ended up being, I was like, coming up with ways for her to do what she can do and enjoy it, make the same amount of money, but also not have to like sell herself in this way. And if you're going to sell yourself in this way, think about it from this perspective, and you could do these other things. It might take some more work, but then it doesn't involve other people or other people that you don't want to be involved with. And now you're doing what you say you like to do, making the money you want to make, and you're cutting out all the nonsense that goes with it. And it was funny because this was like a 2-hour conversation. She was like, man, you have some really good ideas, Joey. Like, Jesus, I never thought about these things before. Like, that's crazy. I'm like, well, like, again, people were like, oh, you're so judgmental, Joey, this and that. I was like, no, I'm not. Expectations. Yeah, I got expectations. I got fucking ideas. I'm like, you try this, do that. Like, but I'm not judgmental. And if I do judgment, right, I will always give you, this is what I say, always judge a book by its cover, but always allow space for the pages to be read. Like, bitch, that's why you fucking pick up a book, because of fucking cover. Duh. You watch a fucking movie because of a trailer. Duh. You fucking dummies. Like, yeah, but this looks like a shitty ass book, but guess what? Let's just read a few pages and see what it is. Actually, you know what? This book is fucking awesome. But anyway, so like the whole conversation turned into like this inspirational speech for this sex worker to do what she wants to do, eliminate maybe different obstacles or putting herself in situations that could end up being dangerous, but still, again, make money, which went into a whole other thing around this whole society is driven by money and blah, 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 blah. And I just thought it was fascinating, because even like the conversations that I find myself in with different people, as long as the people are willing to engage and open up ideas and perspectives, and it always ends up being really creative, whether it's business. I'm having a lot of conversations around money, creative conversations around money with people, around food, around exercise, right? But it was just like, oh, I didn't even expect this conversation around sex work to just totally emerge, this whole 2-hour thing, and it ended up saying like, look, you're saying this, but you're not doing this, da 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 da. And again, I don't think I'll ever see this person again in my life, and I don't know if she'll ever implement any of these things. But it was just like, look, wherever I am, whoever I meet, whatever I'm up to, I'm going to try to push you. I'm going to try to challenge you. I'm going to try to inspire you to do something better. Not what I think you should do, what you're doing, and how could you do it to maximize what you want out of it. Hey, that's just my fucking personality. That's just who I am. Like, if you're a random fucking stranger, sex worker, you're quote unquote a friend, a best friend, a family member, a client, like my teacher, it's just who I am. And I've always been like that. I'm always going to be like that. I'm not going to fucking change. And I think that that's like the returning to self. What I would say was like the story of this whole podcast, like the returning to self. That's, if you haven't read the book, The Alchemist, go read it. The returning to self. It's like, I already got all the fucking gold, dude. I already got all the fucking gold, and if you don't like it, then fucking go find your own goddamn gold. Don't worry about my shit. And if you like my gold, I got gold to share. Tell me. Don't tell me nothing unless it's fucking positive. And if you're going to tell me something fucking negative, then you better got 8 Super Bowls or be Belichick or Patrick Mahomes or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or one of the greats. If you're not one of the greats, you ain't telling me nothing. Period. Unless you're telling me something and boosting me up. It's like the returning to self. But that's a hard, uncomfortable, shitty process. So, I didn't get into the assassination thing, but let's just put it this way. The world's fucked up. People are fucked up. Politics are fucked up. The fact that people wanted a person to die is fucked up. Because that's someone's grandpa, that's someone's dad, that's someone's brother, that's someone's son. And it could easily be your brother, your dad, your grandpa, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, your best friend, whatever. It's like the fact that people wanted someone to die, like that is just so sick, man. The world is fucking sick. Politics are fucking sick. I got all kinds of different podcasts in the back around politics, like, so, but anyways, it just made me really sad. I don't vote, just so everyone knows, and that I can maybe say that for another time, but it's just sad because it could have been anyone on that stage and I would have felt the same way. It's like, damn, dude, that's fucking sad, man. That's so fucking sad that happened, and then people were cheering it on. It's like, our world is fucked. Anyways, so yeah, all right, I hit everything on my list tonight. I wanted to do this. I got a rabbi coming on next week. I'm so fucking pumped about rabbi coming on to interview. This has been I've been looking for a rabbi to interview for more than 4 years, so I'm super pumped about this. And now that I got the fucking podcast studio set up, baby, if you want to hop on, do a call with me, a Zoom, come in and sit on the fucking cognac couch, baby, and do a podcast with me, let's fucking do it. I'm all for exciting conversations. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for listening. And I don't know, I'm going to try to maybe bang out a couple more before I leave, get into the rhythm. I'll definitely make some while I'm gone and release them when I get back. So anyways, whenever you listen to this, have a great night, good afternoon, good morning. Shh.